I am live. Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Alright, so I was having some technical issues with the internet, but we got it working. So sorry if we have any types of bad connections. Okay, so this live stream, kind of like the theme, the topic, is going to be kind of like the basics to starting a YouTube channel. So I'll be talking about cameras and then just like a few different topics about cameras. So please try to keep your questions kind of towards the topics that I'm talking about. So I'm not going to really be answering too many just random questions that I've already answered tons of times. Hey guys, woo, how many? It says bad connection, but I don't know, it seems to be working all right. All right, well, let's just get into it. Okay, so the first topic is having one camera that kind of does it all. And you know, when I started, I thought that I needed all these different types of fancy cameras to be able to make good videos. But after I got more cameras, I realized that I would just kind of end up just using one camera or two cameras most of the time because it always seemed to be convenient. And some examples is, you know, I pretty much always go back to using the G7X. Sometimes I'll use like a DSLR and sometimes I'll get drone footage, but it's just so convenient to be able to just use a drone. I mean, just use the G7X, a little point and shoot camera, and it works perfectly fine. It's able to do pretty much everything that I want to do, so that's just what I seem to always go back to. But there's a lot of different cameras out there that are pretty inexpensive. They're not too expensive, maybe $100 to $200 to $300, so not too crazily outrageous pricey, but they can shoot really good video. Like some examples, there's point and shoot cameras. They're kind of like, yeah, they're just point and shoot cameras, and that's actually what I started my YouTube channel on. It's like little camera that's kind of like this shape, and it has a flip out screen. And what's cool is it has a pretty decent zoom, it has pretty good audio, and since you can flip the screen around, it works really good for holding the camera and vlogging to it. Oh my gosh, 130 viewers. Woo! Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Thank you so much for tuning in for this live stream. And then, like I was saying, I always kind of go back to the G7X, but what I started, sometimes if I'm going to be maybe, or let me just change what I was talking about. Oh yeah, if you think that you need lots of different cameras, trust me, you don't. Just one camera can be plenty enough. And if all you have is maybe a smartphone, that can definitely be plenty, because a lot of smartphones can shoot in HD or even full HD, and a lot of the times you can probably find a way to edit on your device, maybe a free editing software. Maybe if you have an iPhone or an Apple device, probably iMovie will work good. But yeah, we're going to get into editing softwares in a little. All right, so please, like I said, try to keep your questions kind of around the topic of like camera gear and then the topic that I'm talking about. So just in case you just joined, today's live stream theme is kind of like the basics to starting a YouTube channel. All right, so remember, one camera can work really good, and you know, like I said, a lot of the times I won't even end up using a DSLR, but sometimes I'll just take my GoPro, because a GoPro is actually a pretty good all-around camera. Sometimes I'll just use this for vlogging because it has decent audio if you take it out of the case, and sometimes I'll just use this, and this works it works perfectly fine because once I put it in its case, it's like really rugged and works good for adventuring. All right, so if you guys have any questions about that? Keelan Takagusagi, is the Joby tripod good? Okay, if you don't know what a Joby Gorilla tripod is, it's one of those tripods that has like a bunch of little almost like joints keeping it all together, and they're kind of cool because you can flex them all around. You'll probably, if you watch Casey Neistat, you'll see that he uses those a lot. But I think that they can work good for sometimes because you can like strap it to railings and to tree branches and, you know, get cool perspectives and angles. But what I found when I started using one is they fall apart fairly quickly. So the joints kind of like start to fall apart, and then the tripod will just kind of break all of a sudden. So I don't use them too much. Started using just more like a solid tripod because I feel it seems to last longer. But yeah, I would definitely say they can work really good for sometimes. Oh, Fabian Roeglin. How's the autofocus and the onboard mic on the G7X? Okay, the autofocus on this little camera works really good. Like, you can have your hand in front of it and then take your hand off, and it focuses to your face really quickly. And unfortunately, you can't put an external mic, so there's no way to even plug in any type of like Rode or just any type of external microphone, even if you wanted to. But the microphone that's built into it actually surprisingly works pretty good. One little thing I did is I built a little micro muff. It's like a little furry thing right on top. And this actually helps with the quality of the audio quite a bit, because if I'm out filming and it's really windy, this helps kind of make it so you don't hear that psh. Like, obviously, if it's really windy, you're still going to hear it a little bit, but it does help quite a bit. And I do have a video on how to build one of these. Just some Velcro and sometimes a little piece of a teddy bear. And pretty effective. My exposure is messed up. Well, I'm just doing a mobile live stream, so I don't really have any control of where the camera focuses. Unfortunately, it's making my face really blown out. All right, let's keep talking about cameras. Okay, so, there's kind of two different ways you could go about how you want to use your cameras. Is you could either get just one camera and want that camera to do everything, but some people like to go about it like you have multiple cameras, and each camera maybe does its job really good. So maybe you have one camera that you only use when you're out adventuring, then maybe one camera that you only use when you are sitting in one place with a tripod. And if you get one camera and you want it to do everything, just know that there's probably going to be some little cons to that. So it may not do everything perfect, but you can probably find a good camera that is all right for all around. Like the G7X works pretty good for all around. I found that the GoPro, as well as smartphones, those actually work all right for all around. And point-and-shoot cameras. And surprisingly, point-and-shoot cameras, they're not that outrageously priced. Like, you can find them for around $100, $150, $200. And that's actually the type of camera that I started with. Yeah, it's a point shooter, but it's also called a camcorder. John Hoskins, what should I get for a new YouTube channel? Like, camera? Well, if all you have is a smartphone, I think that's plenty to start a YouTube channel, and then you just progress from there. Like, just start with whatever you can get your hands on, whatever you have, and then you can improve and progress from there. But it kind of depends on how much money you want to put into a camera. If you just want to put maybe $100 to $200, camcorders, those work really good. And then maybe a few more $100, maybe a point-and-shoot camera that's maybe a few $100s more. And it's funny because when you first start off with maybe a camera, the quality, you can get a big jump from quality from maybe like a really cheap camera to like a few $100 camera, and then the more money you spend, it's almost like you have to spend more money to get a little bit of better quality. And then you spend a lot of money, and then you get like a smidge of better quality, but it's not like going from a $1,000 camera to a $10,000 camera. You may not see like this ginormous amount of more quality. All right, moving on, or I'll answer maybe one more question. real quick. Jason Vlogs. What is the best money-effective mic? Well, the microphones that I've always used have been Rode mics because they just kind of what I started with when I started using an external microphone. But I know there's a lot of different microphones out there that are $100 or even under $100. But you just look up. Probably I know there's some videos that talk about just microphones. But yeah, I've always just used Rode mics, so I don't have a ton of info on other microphones. All right, the next topic that we're going to talk about is kind of like editing softwares, because I do get a lot of questions about like, what do I edit on? How do I edit? Da 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 da. So we're going to talk about editing softwares. All right, this is how I think you should go about when you're not sure how you should edit your videos. Try to keep it as simple as possible, especially if you want to put out lots of videos, because it's funny, you can spend hours like adding little special effects and stuff, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make your video more popular or make your video that much better. And if you notice, a lot of the biggest YouTubers out there, their videos have really simple edits, like just kind of cut, put together, maybe put some music in certain spots, and they don't add all these special effects all the time. You know, sometimes I think it's cool to add some little effects, but don't go overboard, because if you add too much, then I think it actually takes away from your video. And some examples of editing softwares, well, you know, Windows Movie Maker, of course. I'm not sure if it comes with PCs or if you still have to, or if you have to download it, but it is free. But the only downside, from what I've heard and from using it, is it sometimes will just crash and have little problems like pretty frequently. And another free editing software, if you're using maybe Apples or Macs, is, well, iMovie. A lot of people like to use iMovie because it is free, and from what I've seen, it does work all right. So what's cool is that it's free. And then, you know, another editing software that is around $100 is PowerDirector. And PowerDirector, they actually gave us their software for free to make a video with it. You can find it if you look back on our channel, iSurfTribe. But PowerDirector, from using it, it actually works pretty good. It seems to render videos, like export them really quickly. And yeah, I mean, it seems to be a pretty good software if you're somewhat on a budget and you don't want to spend like hundreds of dollars on just the editing software. And another software is Sony Vegas Pro 13. Sony Vegas Pro is actually the software that I use myself, and I've just been using it since I started making videos. I know how to do everything that I want to do, like if I want to use like maybe keyframes or add some little thing, I know how to do everything. And another software that is pretty popular amongst creators, you could say, is Adobe Premiere. So I like Sony Vegas Pro, but I'm actually looking into maybe testing out Adobe Premiere, because from what I hear, it works really good. But also, it seems, from what I've seen, is it seems to maybe even like work better when you're editing videos. Maybe not. I just want to maybe test it in the future to see how it works. But Sony Vegas and Adobe Premiere, they both are, I think, around maybe a couple $100, and yeah, like $500-600. So they are a little bit more pricey. But of course, you do get maybe more effects and more stuff that you can do with it. Switch to Premiere. And one other software that I just remember is Final Cut Pro. I've heard a lot of good things about that software, but that's also just for Apple and Mac users. All right, let's see what questions we have. I use Garrett O'Connor. I use Adobe Premiere, and once you get used to it, it's hard to get away from it. Joey the Great. How long does your videos take to edit and upload your video? Okay, so if you don't know, I made a video a few weeks ago that was just about, I did a screen capture, and I showed like kind of my workflow of how I edit my videos and how I organize all my footage. So if you are curious about that, be sure to check that one out. Hey Jensen, do you prefer the GoPro or the DSLR? Well, obviously what's cool about a GoPro is it's so compact that it's just like easy to just take in your pocket and just kind of take everywhere. And what's cool is it's waterproof, so it's kind of indestructible. Like not indestructible, but you know, like you can drop it and it'll usually be fine. But the only bummer is obviously you obviously can't change lenses, and you can't have any types of zoom or anything like that. And you don't have as much control with maybe the manual settings. And yeah, I think I like the GoPro more for when I'm on the go, and maybe I don't have that much time to fiddle with the settings to the perfect settings, or if I'm doing some type of shot where I can't have a big camera. But if I'm going to be like maybe have my camera on a tripod and I want to have like the best audio I can, then I usually will use a DSLR, because if I use a DSLR, then I can have better audio and also have better video because I can get the perfect settings. And also, what I like about a DSLR is since I can change lenses, I feel like it makes it better for if I want to get like, if I want to have a really wide angle shot, or if I want to get like a really close up of something, something like that. So that's what I like about a DSLR. Obviously, they both have their kind of pros and cons. Shear drops, bandwidth issues. Uh-oh, yeah, my screen is just blinking, bad connection, bad connection. But I think it's still working. Willem Kier, what time is it there? It is 7:05, just past 7 o'clock. Clorox bleach. I want to start I want to get a camera for starting vlogging. Should I get G7X or GoPro? It does obviously depend on what you're going to be filming most of the time. So I would say if you're planning on filming most of your footage, not in the water and not somewhere where your camera could get wrecked really easily, then probably the G7X. And the G7X, obviously you can have zoom, so that makes it kind of, you can use it to get to different types of shots. And it also, in my opinion, I think it shoots quite a bit better in low light. It just somehow deals with the darkness really good. And if you're planning on maybe filming most of your videos like in the water or in a river or when it's maybe pouring rain, I would probably say go with the GoPro, because I think it's much more rugged and much more of like a, you don't have to worry about it breaking. Kevin Welch, what editing software do you recommend? Well, I just named a few examples, but depends on if you want to get a free software or if you want to spend a little bit of money and get one that maybe has more options to add more effects and stuff. Jason Vlogs, is the Sony A5100 any good? I don't know, because I'm not exactly sure which camera you're talking about. I think I may know, but I've never used it. Jason Vlogs, do you ever use Sony cameras? Actually, no, I actually don't use Sony cameras, but I know Sony makes some good cameras. A lot of people like the Sony RX100, the Mark IV, as well as the Mark V. And I know there's the Sony A7S Mark II, which seems to be a pretty common camera that I've seen a lot of people using. But I actually use a lot of other things that are made by Sony, like my headphones are actually made by Sony, as well as a few other little things that I use. But yeah, at the moment I've just been using Canon. One thing is, like, because Sony and Canon, they use different lenses, I think you can get some types of maybe converters or some type of attachment so you can use different lenses, but I don't know, I just kind of have been using Canon for the moment. But I maybe one day in the future switch over. You never know. Just do it. What is the best way to film underwater with GoPro? The best way? Well, I'm not really sure, just obvious. I don't know. I think in the future I'll do a video just about the settings that I use on my GoPro, and then maybe some different setups and mounting systems that I figured out. But that'll be a video that I'll do in the near future. All right, the next topic that we're going to talk about is picking a topic that you have a high level of interest in. So what I mean by this is, like, when you start a channel, if kind of like the main topic of your channel is something that you're interested in, like an example is I'm really interested in adventuring and filming adventures, then since I'm really interested in that, I'm never going to run out of ideas. So a good way to think of it is like, what would I be doing? What would I do even if I wasn't making videos? So even if I wasn't filming videos for YouTube, I would still go on adventures. So what would you still be doing even if you weren't filming it and putting it up on YouTube? And a lot of people get this part kind of wrong. They see someone else having maybe some success with a topic, so they figure, well, I'll just copy them, and then my channel will be popular. But the thing is like, if you're making videos about something that you don't really have any interest in, or you're not really passionate about it at all, then you can kind of tell in the videos, and plus you're going to run out of ideas. Garrett O'Connor, what is the YouTube life like in Costa Rica? Well, since there's not really any other YouTubers around really anywhere in the area, it's kind of like you grow your channel on your own, so you don't really always have the chance to maybe go to like collaborations with other YouTubers where you're in their videos and they're in your videos. So that's one of the little, I guess, downsides to vlogging here. But it is kind of fun being the only one, because it's funny, everyone always is wondering what you're doing. Magdalena Torres, how do you live stream? Well, I know YouTube just made this mobile live stream thing, but I think at the moment it's just for people with 10,000 subscribers or more. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know, maybe they don't want like a ton of data or something, but they may make it in the future so that anyone can do live streams. But I know there's a lot of other maybe programs or websites that you can do live streams on, no matter, it doesn't really matter what size your channel or something is. Aptitude Física. Here in Puerto Rico, there's not that much YouTubers either. I'm not the only one there's not too many. This definitely isn't the only place where there's not too many filmer YouTubers. Q Vlogs. Are you considering upgrading to the G7X Mark II? Well, maybe, but to be honest, from what I've seen, it's not that much of an upgrade. Like, there's a few maybe cool little things that they added, like the screen you can pull it out further and get like some different angles with having the screen in a different angle, kind of pull it out further. And I think that there might be some more different settings in the Mark II where you can do like different types of time-lapse modes. But the G7X, just the first one, the Mark I, it works pretty good, and it's a pretty good camera. I'm pretty happy with it. But if I were to maybe buy another G7X, then in that case I'd probably just go with the Mark II. Quiz Separabbit. Watching from Scotland. Atua, where will your next trip be? I don't know where my next trip will be. I don't know. There's just so many different places around the world that seem like there's so many that sound and look like they have tons of cool places to explore that I have no idea. It's just so many places. It's too hard to choose. President of MC. How and when did you start YouTube? Well, I started YouTube maybe around a little bit over a year ago. Well, I kind of started my channel, but then I didn't really upload, and then I got a little more serious and started, putting up more videos more consistently. And I just started making videos about my adventures and little things. Okie dokie, we're going to move on to the next topic. Next topic is having consistency and being consistent, and kind of having maybe even a kind of a schedule so that your viewers know when you're going to be putting up videos. So even if you're only putting up one video a week, at least let your viewers know that, okay, I'm going to put one video up a week, so that people can kind of look forward to it and know that there's going to be a video. Because if it's really random, a lot of people may lose the interest in your channel and then just kind of forget about it. If it's there's a bunch of videos and then there's no videos for months and months, and then there's a video and it's really random, and I feel like you may lose viewers. But for me, what I've usually been doing is a few videos a week, but then I'm actually doing 30 days of daily vlogs, so I'm doing a vlog every day, which has actually been quite challenging. And also, another reason to be consistent is if YouTube sees that maybe I think you have a better chance of people finding your channel if you're putting up a good amount of videos, even if it's just 1 or 2 videos a week, as long as you're putting stuff up. And also, if someone finds your channel and you only have maybe one video from a year ago, maybe there's not that good of a chance that they're going to subscribe. Whereas if they see that you've put up a video you put up a video a week ago and then maybe 2 videos 2 weeks ago, they're like, oh, this person, they're active, they put up videos. I want to see what their next videos are going to be. Riley's Moyer, what do you recommend making videos about when you don't live somewhere with beautiful scenery? Well, making the most of whatever you have available. So I live in the jungle, so that's what I film. But if I lived in the city, then that's what I would film, and that's what I'd make an adventure out of, is kind of living in the city. So whatever you have access to, you have to make the most of it. Even if it's just maybe your backyard or just your bedroom, then you just work with whatever you have and make the most of that. Sheer drops. You're the least lazy person I've ever spoken to. Joey the Great. Is it hard to upload every day? Yeah, I definitely, now I'm wow, now when I see people and they have uploaded a video every day for 1 or 2 years, now I'm wow, I really know how hard and difficult that is, because just 30 days, it's fun. It's fun having a challenge. I like having challenges where it's not just easy, but it does, you always kind of thinking okay, what am I going to film? What do I want to make today's video about? And it keeps you always thinking and on your toes, making a video. John T. Warren, I use a GoPro for vlogging and it's great. Oh, good to hear that. Devon Laprath, what do you recommend for a GoPro mount for surf footage? Well, there's a few different ways that you can film your surf footage. One way would, of course, be mounting it to the nose of your surfboard. A lot of people do that. What I find what works the best for me is using a mouth mount. So I have the GoPro in my mouth, and it kind of gives a first-person view, so you see my hands, and you almost feel like you're the one surfing. Here's what it looks like. So I go like this, and when I first started doing this, it kind of was irritating because it would always sometimes hit my board, and it was kind of weird having a GoPro in my mouth all the time. But once I got used to it, I like this quite a bit. I think I'd rather do this than mount it to the front of my surfboard. And actually, the third way that I figured out that you can film your surfing is, what I do is I catch the wave with the GoPro in my mouth, paddle into the wave, and then once I'm standing up, I actually take it out of my mouth like this, and then while I'm surfing, I hold the GoPro out, and it's kind of like a third-person view, but it's not. It's a totally different feel than filming than the look straight from the beach, because you're moving with the surfer. So like as I do a bottom turn, the camera's like moving, and then it's like really close, so you like see where my feet are placed, and you get a really close-up look to the maneuvers. So that's the third way that I found. You know, whichever way you feel worked the best for you. Garrett O'Connor, what kind of mouth mount is that? Oh yes, this is the Pro Standard. Magdalena Torres. If I'm trying to be consistent, how do I think of ideas? Well, that kind of goes back to making your YouTube channel. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but that's my dog. It's yelping. Like I said earlier, if you make your channel's topic about something that you are passionate about and something that you have a high interest in, then you should, like sometimes you may have times where it's hard to think of an idea, but for the most part, you shouldn't have too many problems with maybe if you just think about like something that you want to do because you're passionate about that, and then usually I find that I don't have problems thinking of ideas because I enjoy adventuring, filming my adventures, film new adventures. Okay, we are going to move on to the next topic. Okay, the next topic is gaining kind of confidence in being in front of the camera, and kind of what I mean by that is like not being afraid of maybe what other people think about you filming, and maybe not being afraid of if there's like people sitting here and I'm like holding a camera, vlogging, not minding that they're there. So, you know, I could tell you all day like, oh, you just gotta be more confident and not worry about other people. But it's really up to you when you wanna really like be like, okay, I'm just not gonna let it bother me what other people think about me making my videos. But then also know that it's kind of like an ongoing improvement thing. So maybe when you start, you kind of are a little shy if there's someone there watching you, but you still do it, and then over time you kind of just start to not really care that there's someone like looking at you. Like what I find is, the way that I do it is like, if I'm out filming and I see a bunch of people, when I get home I don't want to be like, oh man, I didn't film anything there because I was shy that there was people there. So I film the clips, I just talk to the camera, I just do my best to completely ignore that there's people around me and that they're maybe looking at me like, it doesn't matter, I'm making my video. And then when I get home and I look at the footage, I'm like, oh, we're going live. Yes, I think we're live again. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. Oh no, it froze again. No. Can anyone hear me? Hello, everybody. Anybody there? Yes? Yes. Oh, yes. Woo! We're live. Okay, so what I had to do actually is restart my internet as well as close out YouTube and reopen it, and it let me resume my live stream. So we're live again. I'm not sure if it cut it into 2 streams or whatever, but we'll just continue where we let off. Sirium 1, yes, I hear you. Oh, hello, how you doing? Joe Buth, how you doing? Thank you. All right. Okay, so the next topic that we're going to talk about is kind of some ways that you can gain subscribers when you're first starting out. All right, so one of the ways that you can gain subscribers is making videos about trending topics and, like incorporating that trending topic into the topic that you're making videos about. So maybe if the trending topic is whatever it may be, then maybe you kind of add a twist on it and then you make a video about it. That's one way. Another way to gain subscribers, or at least get it so people find your videos, is making how-to videos. Now there is endless how-to video possibilities. Just think of something that you wanted to learn how to do, and then you figured it out, but there wasn't really a good video. There you go. That's a how-to video. And there's always new things that you can make how-to videos about. When I started my channel, I actually made a good amount of how-to videos, like how to start a fire and how to survive and how to maybe create a Dakota fire hole, and how-to videos. That's a how-to. Another way to help grow your audience, grow your channel, is to leave kind of good, helpful comments on other creators' videos. So don't go and spam their comments with just subscribe to me, give me a shout out, da 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 da, because when anyone sees that, no one really will go and check your channel out and stuff. A lot of people will find it actually irritating. But if you leave like good, helpful comments, like maybe replying to people, leaving like a good comment that's not just like spam, that is a good way, because if you leave lots of them, the people will they'll see your comments. They may go check you out because they see you're helping people out. And if you are gonna ask for someone to come check your channel out, at least, or if you're gonna comment and you want people to come check your channel out, but you're not just saying like, give me a shout out, go check my channel out, blah blah blah. If at least have more than one video. So don't tell people to check your channel out if you don't have more than one video, because they're gonna go to your channel, they're gonna see you only have one video or not even one video, and they're gonna be like, oh, just move on. But if you have a few videos that are decent videos that you put at least some time in, that weren't just like a really quick video, then you have a much better chance of people wanting to stick around and keep watching your video and subscribing. And the last way to help grow your audience is to do a collaboration with another YouTuber. But a good way to do it is like give before you ask. So like kind of like do something for them before you ask something for you. So okay, a perfect example of this is the young filmmaker. So the young filmmaker, he commented on my videos all the time. He would answer people's questions and stuff, and then he even supported me on my Patreon page, and he never asked for a shout out or for me to like do a collaboration or something. He wasn't like begging or anything, which was really cool. It was very class of him to do it like that. He was just like he was supporting me and commenting and stuff, and he wasn't just leaving like spam and stuff. And then I saw him doing that, so I ended up giving him a shout out, and now like it was pretty cool. Now I talk to him and I know him, which is pretty cool, because he wasn't just like leaving just like spam begging comments, which I actually see a lot of other people do. So young filmmaker, that was really cool the way you did that. Yeah, if you are going to do a collaboration, don't at least first start off with leaving some comments on their channel, on their comments, and at least subscribe. You've got to at least subscribe if you're going to ask to do a collaboration with someone. Don't just all of a sudden be like, let's just do a collaboration. Good way is like maybe start with leaving some comments, maybe reply to other people's questions and stuff, and then maybe send them like a direct message on how you guys can help each other out and what you can do for them and how in return they can help you out. So yeah, that's a good way to go about it. All right. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the basics to starting a YouTube channel. I, of course, couldn't cover every possible topic, but I covered like what I thought would have been maybe some of the most important things and some of the maybe things that I've learned. Alright, so I'll just answer a few last questions to wrap up this live stream, and then that'll be it. Oh, Jason Weber, do you have family members on YouTube because you're way advanced? Yes, I actually do. My dad, he creates YouTube videos, and he created videos maybe a year or so before I started my channel. But on all of my videos, I do edit and film pretty much all of my videos on my own. And yes, if you haven't checked it out already, we have another YouTube channel, I Surf Tribe, and that channel's mostly about like surfing as well as like Costa Rica lifestyle videos. If you want to check that out. Frances Tupil, I have 15 videos. Well, that's great. That's a good amount of videos. Good job. Sirium1, hi Atua, I noticed a lot of ants on that log you hung your bag on at the beach in my last video. Did you get a hole of ants in your bag? I didn't get a hole. They didn't make a hole in my bag, but when I got home, I did find some ants had moved into my bag and they made their way home with me. Trying to come steal my burrito supplies. Manshir, well, I'm interested into getting a YouTube channel. What kind of cameras should I get? It does depend on what you're going to be filming mostly, but, you know, a smartphone is plenty enough to start off, and then just, I think, work your way up from there. Maybe get a camcorder, or just a point and shoot, or even a GoPro can be plenty enough. Alright guys, that's it for this live stream. Sorry about the little connection problems we had in the middle. One of the joys of living in the jungle. Alright, remember to keep always doing awesome stuff, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, early in the morning, as well as in the next video, and hopefully in the next live stream, which I don't know when will be. Bang! Finish. Oh, it doesn't want to finish.